Oh, oh, it's Talking Sith. We're live. Uh,
Are.
this week, I think we're just going to talk about Heir to the Empire chapters 1 through 8. There's not been a lot of Star Wars news in my world lately. I don't know about you. There's Paige holding up the old version of the book.
Yes. My very well-worn, well-loved copy.
I know. I'm kind of jealous because I'm reading it on Kindle, and I was like, man, I wish I had an old copy of this.
Get one. Order one.
I probably will after I finish. So it's my first time reading the series, and we're definitely gonna break it down some in the future. I don't know how much I as time pages before, I really had a hard time stopping. I mean, it was like I hit chapter 8 and was just like, shit, I want to keep, like, I finished chapter 8 and was like, I want to just read this book now, be done.
Yeah, I mean, especially where we stopped at, like, things were just really starting to happen, and you're starting to get a little bit more into the main storyline instead of, like, the introductory stuff, like introducing Admiral Thrawn, who is amazing.
Yes, he is.
So let me do this. Let me ask you what you thought about the character development in our new antagonists here with the crew of the Chimera.
Mm-hmm. So
And
okay, go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I immediately was like, I like Thrawn. This dude is awesome. And super excited. And I also found I was super happy they've like made this into a comic.
Mm-hmm.
So I just like would Google people to see what they look like because I was like, this is so much easier.
See, what I'm finding is different. So I bought this book when it was new,
Mm-hmm.
and I've read it easily like 100 times since then, because it's like 23 years old now at this point. Oh, God.
I was very young when this came out.
I was too. I was very,
I know.
very young, but it was Star Wars, and I had
Yeah,
an
so of course you
obsession.
were reading it. I
Yeah,
know.
it is just anyway. So, what I find is interesting now is I haven't read it in a couple years,
Mm-hmm.
but the way I read it, the way I read, like I imagine things in my mind as I go along, right? The way I'm imagining things now as an adult as opposed to like those first couple read-throughs is totally different, and it is amazing. I don't know if like I just have like a more in-depth. I mean, we've seen a lot more of the Star Wars universe since I was a kid, imagining what this would look like. So I'm really
Yeah.
excited to.
I would say we have I mean, the amount of books there are now just in the extended universe is insane for figuring stuff out, and comics and
Yep,
everything. I mean,
yep, but
you
not
just
just
Google
that,
and you
but
see
like
what that's supposed to look like.
yeah, and not just that, but since these came out, like we have the prequels now, and we have all kinds of other things. So I like it. Um, I am a big fan of Grand Admiral Thrawn. He is a very well-written character, and you get to
Hmm.
kind of see the depth of him almost from the beginning as you go into his meditation room, and he has all these, very near and dear to him works of art and a hologram all around him.
Yeah.
Because he's a
I
connoisseur of
love
the
the line, like,
arts.
you need to study your art to figure people out. And I was like, oh God, this is
Yes.
going to be good.
Yeah,
Um,
he's more sophisticated, and he almost has more depth than any other imperial commanding officer that we've seen.
mhm.
So that's
Fucking chair.
I thought you were stabbing a kitten. That's what it sounded like to me.
Sorry. I won't move. I'm like frozen now.
So,
Um,
yeah, we get a lot more depth of him than
yeah, I mean, even more so than you really got with Vader in the first three movies. And let's be real, the only three movies.
yeah. Well, that's true. I mean, because you just see like taking the prequels out of play, because when this was written, those didn't exist.
Yeah.
So taking those out of play, like, our views of Darth Vader were that he was driven and he was dedicated and ambitious and he was cold and calculating. And that was about it until the end where, like, you see the good in him and he saves Luke. But, like, it took to the end of the third movie, it took them 5.5 hours to show, like, some human side of Vader. You know?
Yeah. Whereas Thrawn, I feel like you kind of can tell he's a person, but he also just doesn't give a shit.
And what's interesting is he's not human.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know he's not human, but you know what I mean. Like, he shows emotion still.
That's one of the things I find interesting, that they have him so, like, you get that, even though, like, Vader was...
Well, he's humanoid. Like,
yeah.
I mean, really.
Well, I guess Vader was written that way because he is more machine than man at this point, so
yeah.
kind of loses part of him. So, I mean, it makes sense, but you definitely get deep with Thrawn right away. I think you're going to really enjoy the way these books play out.
Yeah. I was immediately happy that I felt like Luke was less whiny in the book.
He's more sure of himself.
Yeah, like I mean, it was in a good way, and God, it was really sad when Obi-Wan comes to him in the dream.
Yeah.
It made me sad. I was like, oh.
He's got to go.
Oh, no. And then, let's see. See, I took notes. Yeah, in the Star Wars notebook.
Of course. I mean,
yeah.
You can't do it any other way.
I loved Han and Leia's interactions. I thought that the author, Timothy Zahn, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought he did that really well so far. Like, it feels like them in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, the same kind of banter. Yeah. It's fun because the old gang's together, you know? It's kind of like, okay, cool, everybody's off together on the Millennium Falcon to this weird planet, and shit's gonna happen, because, duh. Star Wars.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know, do you have any like specific questions you have for me on what I'm thinking or that? Because I just like wrote down random thoughts as I read.
I do. So okay. This is going to be fun. We can do this where I question you about what you thought about things. Mm-hmm. So in addition to Thrawn and Pelion, we get to meet another antagonist, as far as we know. And that is the Dark Jedi guarding the Emperor's storeroom. The clone, exactly. So, what did you think of his character and the whole plot line where the story arc where they're like trying to capture Jedi to bring under his control?
I thought the capture plot was really interesting, and it was like that perfect, like you were just far enough into the book, because we read basically the first 20% of the book. So, like, you were far enough into the book that they gave you enough action that you're like, all right, let's keep going. I want to see what's going to happen. I don't like the clone Dark Jedi, though. He is annoying. Mm-hmm. He is obnoxious, and I don't know, it was weird, the whole, like, interactions with him, and then the reveal that he was a clone was just kind of strange as well. Like, I don't know. And maybe it's weird because I'm, like, thinking these are all the prequels. Right. So, I mean, I know the Clone War was, like, a kind of known thing, but it's just interesting to see that fleshed out in a book before those movies ever came out, I guess, to me.
Yeah, to know about it. But if you remember in A New Hope, Luke says to Obi-Wan, like, you fought in the Clone Wars with my father, when they were talking about him. So, like, there was a reference to the Clone Wars in, like, the first movie. So I'm sure that there's some vault somewhere of Star Wars canon history that we need to read.
I guess I want to see that. I know.
Yeah.
I would like to see that vault because I'm just curious. I was kind of just like, this dude's obnoxious. Can we just kill him already?
Yeah, you're not supposed to like him.
I mean, I assumed as much. Like, I mean, he was the Emperor's pawn, so of course you're not going to like him.
Well, he killed the Emperor's pawn.
Well, yeah, I know, but...
And then all the other Outlanders, so... I think using this unknown race of aliens to try and capture the Jedi, this race that solely exists to be assassins for Thrawn, and he's the only one who knows about them, is brilliant.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was smart. Like, yeah. Their plan to capture Han, Leia, and Luke, though, was terrible.
Yeah. Especially
like
oh, let's split you up just for no reason whatsoever. You guys can go to the marketplace where the men will hate it. Because I think their initial plan was to just get Leia because she's got the twins.
Yeah.
And then, like, if they could take Luke, great, but that didn't work out so well for them. But it's kind of a similar plot line to the Clone Wars where Kamino was erased from the Jedi archives.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't know who did it or why.
Yeah, it is very similar to that. That's true.
So I'm interested to see who was the one who erased the information from the databanks.
Yeah, I am too. Like I'm intrigued as to why anything and everything's happening, because you definitely like it's like a nugget right now, and you know like so much more is about to happen. But I know that's going to take the rest of the series probably for everything to fold out and be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, that's the intention.
Well, yeah, I know. I mean, it's good knowing it's a trilogy going in, because at least I'm like, okay, I know that this is all going to take a while.
Imagine being a little kid that had to wait for them to be written to finish them. It was terrible.
I didn't know about... See, I didn't see Star Wars until the re-release in the 90s. And that's when I became a fan, so...
But you've seen the unspecial edition ones, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But when they, like, the first time I saw them was in theaters when they did that in the 90s, if you recall.
Awesome.
Because I was, like, 8.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I was 8. And so for me, like, these books were, I didn't even know they existed.
Right. Okay. Well, I grew up watching Star Wars as, like, my daily thing. Like, I was, like, 3 years old, and I'd be like, I want to watch Star Wars! It's pretty great.
I wish I had found them earlier, but...
Oh, my dad loved the movies. That's why I was born, and he had, like, gotten all these Kenner toys for my brother, and, like, my brother wasn't really that interested, so, like, I get all these Kenner toys and all these ships, and I get to have the Star Wars sheets and the Star Wars curtains and watch Star Wars all the time.
Yeah, my dad liked them. I guess we just didn't have them to watch at home, so I just never saw them until then. But it was a good exposure. Like
I remember us going to our local West Coast video rental store, and we would rent them, and my dad used a dual VCR setup to copy them illegally so that we had our own copies.
Yeah, I mean,
So
that's
he
what
was
you did back then.
torrenting before torrents, yeah. Oh my god, my dad would be in so much trouble if he knew he could download everything and anything today, if he were alive.
But yeah, that's why, like, for me, this is, like, a weird thing, because I'm like, there's this whole world of Star Wars books before I even knew about Star Wars, really. I mean, I probably, like, kind of knew, but I was... What year did these come out?
91, I believe.
Okay, so I was, like, 3.
Yeah.
Maybe 4. So, I had no idea.
Yeah, let's see. Trademark and text, copyright 1991.
Yeah, so I would have been 3 or 4, depending on when in the year.
Yeah, and these were considered canon. I mean, this is trademarked by Lucasfilm. this
Oh
book.
yeah, well, I mean, everything was canon almost in the extended universe, I thought, until
Disney.
this new movie with Disney,
Yep. Because
which
they
is
want to do
fine.
their own
They could
thing.
do it. I have faith. I have faith.
I really, really, when I heard they were announcing like sequels to Jedi, like I'm like, oh my god, they're making Heir to the Empire, and like my brain just exploded. And then I heard they're not doing that, and then my brain imploded back into my.
Well, see, okay, so I've had a lot of hype about these books.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, surprisingly, like, some of my friends who I have who are in the 501st and stuff had never really told me about these books. So I was just kind of surprised. And now I'm reading it, and I'm like, oh, I get why this is popular.
Yeah.
Totally get it.
Yeah.
And I have, like, a couple other Star Wars books to read, too, that actually we'll probably do after we finish Thrawn. Like, Jedi Academy, I think it is. Something like that. I don't know. I have the first one of those. But yeah, like I was just like, why haven't I really like I've heard about it, but I hadn't heard much really.
Yeah.
And then when I told people I was reading it, everyone was like, "Oh my god, how have you not read this?"
Right? Kind of like what I did.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, well, why did no one tell me? What did I say? Oh, I'm super excited about Mara Jade because she's like one of my favorite extended universe characters.
Yes. So
I also
you get to
really
kinda
like
see
Jaina
her.
Solo, but I mean, she doesn't come into play for a while. I actually have a figure of her, and I gotta get the Mara Jade one. But, yeah, I have like a Mara Jade shirt. I really like her. I've always liked her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
she's a really, really great character. She
Like
was
everything
my-
having not read the books, but everything I knew about her, I was like, she's awesome. And I'm super pumped when they introduced her. I was like, yes,
You're like,
do
yes,
this.
it's happening.
I was like, Lady Jedi people, not really yet. Bounty hunters right now.
Look at that.
I know. What else did I write? Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really. I'm liking it a lot. Like a lot.
Yeah, I'm excited to continue reading it now. Since I have read them again before, and I'm just rereading them along with you, I'm able to curb the urge to like, oh my god, I want to read the next 25 chapters so I can see what happens. Because
Yeah, like
I,
this is making me like control myself because I feel like I would speed through them and then want to reread them immediately. Which I
yeah,
kind of want. I mean, I would like to just finish the series before I like go for a reread. What else? Good quotes in this book. Like, so I'm reading on Kindle, you get the highlighted blurbs that people highlight a lot, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, these are actually pretty good highlights that people have.
yeah. This Timothy Zahn is one of the best Star Wars writers, in my opinion, and I think in a lot of people's opinions.
Mm-hmm.
And he does such a good job of capturing the feeling of the Star Wars universe and the feeling of the rapport the characters have and their dynamics and conveying them properly in text. I mean, it's just mind-blowing how well he does it.
No, I mean, I was not nervous, but you know, when something's hyped to you so much, you get a little like, is it gonna be as good as you're
Oh
saying?
yeah, that's
Or
me
is
with
it gonna
everything.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, this might not be good at first. So I pushed through it, and then I was like, okay, no, everybody was right. I'm sorry for doubting anyone.
It's so good, and I'm so excited to finally be. I don't know anybody who hasn't read it yet, except for Ian, but he's not into Star Wars like I am. I mean, he likes
Yeah,
it.
Dave's the same way.
He likes it, he appreciates it, but he's not into it, you know?
Yeah, Dave's the same way. Although he loves our Boba Fett collection, so it's all good.
Because Boba Fett's amazing.
I know. I have like, I need some of the old ones still. I know.
Yeah.
I just have stormtroopers on my turbis. Swirlies and a pink lid because it's me, and you know.
Yep, I've got Han and Boba Fett just
I have
kind
that
of going
somewhere.
at it.
I have that mug. I have that set
Yeah.
somewhere. I don't know where right now though. It's probably packed up. But I don't know. Is there any other Star Wars news this week really that came out?
I don't think so. But, you know, there's all kinds of episode 7 stuff, like, always being.
I'm avoiding it. Is that weird?
I avoid it, too. That's why I'm Googling it to see what's going on.
My hair is too long. I'm going to go chop it off, probably. Ugh.
I guess the latest news is Liam Neeson on the possible return of Qui-Gon in episode 7. He was doing press conferences. And Al Pacino talked to MTV News about why he turned down the role of Han Solo in A New Hope.
Okay.
How differently would Han Solo have been played had Al Pacino played him?
I don't think it would have been as good. Like, I just feel like there'd be a lot of oohs, and that would just not have been. No, I don't like it.
You don't like it?
Nope, just like the Nicolas Cage Superman, don't like it. Gives me the jeebies when I see it, don't like it. Nope. God, now that's in my head and I'm imagining and I'm just like, no, please, for the love of God, no. I hope there's no, like, test shots of that. He turned it down because it was sci-fi in an age where sci-fi wasn't what it is now.
Right. I mean, it was a groundbreaking film for its time, really. But
Oh, yeah.
have you heard about Lego Star Wars The New Yoda Chronicles game?
No.
Oh, here, I'm going to link you to the trailer in chat. So that they released that. It looks pretty awesome. They released the trailer, I guess it was this week. It's September 4th. 12 action-packed levels full of your favorite Lego minifigures from across the Star Wars universe. Dogfight in outer space, battle AT-AT walkers on Hoth, and blast enemies on Kashyyyk in this classic good versus evil action arcade adventure. Isn't it adorable?
Oh my God!
We'll have to link the this video in our description so our audience can see it.
Yeah, I will do that as soon as this goes up. Oh my God, this is cute. So apparently it's going in the App Store.
Yeah, it's an app game and it's Google Play, but like I could definitely grind on this in like a doctor's office waiting room.
Oh yeah, I was playing the Death Star Tiny Tower mod for like ever. And then I was like, okay, I'm done.
Oh my goodness.
I almost played that other game they just came out with on the phone, Rebel Base.
Yeah.
I think, or something. But I already played Clash of Clans, so I was like, I don't need two of the same game.
I am a terrible smartphone owner. Like, I don't have hardly any games on my phone because I'm home all day and I just play real games. I do have a TurboGrafx emulator on my phone, and I play TurboGrafx games on there, so.
Hey, guess what? It's already out, and you can download it now. I am downloading this.
Holy crap, that's amazing. Maybe I'll check it out later.
Yeah. I don't play them a lot, but like in the car and stuff, I'll play driving somewhere if I'm not reading a book or that. I have a lot of games on my phone that I don't play, so yeah. Pretty sure this is one I'll play a lot. But is that it, you think?
I think that's it. I'm excited to see how your opinion either changes or evolves throughout the series because, like I said, before we went live, I told Isabel that I'm living vicariously through her virgin read-through experience because I haven't been able to feel that in 20 years. So, the read-through part, not the other part.
Oh, yeah, I would hope it's just the read-through part. Because well, yeah. Then, I guess on that,
on that note, we're going to go.
We'll see you in a week or two with the next 8 chapters. So that'd be chapters 9 through 16.
Yep. And that's going to be in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks from today, I think, is going to be the 23rd? Yes.
I believe so.
September 23rd. 11 a.m.
Yep. Tentatively. Times could change, but
Yeah.
tentatively.
Either way, it'll be
And if
sometime
you
that
have
week.
Star Wars stuff you want to talk about, hit us up. We're on Twitter. I'm at Rabid Gummy Bear. Paige is at Paige Belmont. Or leave comments here or on the Blank Showcast website. And if you want to hear more of us, listen to the podcast. Or go check out Doctor Appointment if you like Doctor Who.
Yes.
Because we don't do
Also,
enough things.
yeah, exactly. I mean, you really can't find us unless you're looking very hard.
Yeah,
But
basically.
also
No?
tweet along if you're reading with us using the hashtag Talking Sith, and we'll be able to group everything together and answer questions or read opinions out loud and have all kinds of fun. And that's it.
All right, bye everybody.
Bye, everybody.
All right. You went like half